We have this particular question here, which is trying to find the derivative of a function divided by another function. So we can see that it's y, right? Y is equal to, and let's say it will be something like u divided by v. Now they're going to get quite similar, so let's make this a bit easier. Okay, so let's say u is going to be equal to sine x, sine 4x. And v, on the other hand, is equal to our cos 5x. All right. Now, whenever we try to find the differential, right, let's stick with this equation here. We're trying to differentiate this. So we want to figure out what is dy dx. Okay, so that is dy dx. And there is an equation called the quotient rule. And this tells us, right, that it will be the one on top multiplied by the one on bottom minus by the one on top multiplied by the one on the bottom. So kind of like the product rule, but we've got a minus sign there. Now it's super important that you get the minus sign correct, because otherwise if you have it the wrong way around, you'll get it wrong. The good news is that it's on your formula sheet, which is perfect. So I always recommend to make a table. We've done the first two at the top here. But now let us do the next couple. Okay, what is u dash or u prime? What is the differential of sine 4x? Okay, straight away we change it. So it becomes a sine to a cos. The guts of it is the same. And we grab the number that's there and we multiply it out the front. Now, the question is this a positive or a negative? Because sometimes you get a negative value. So there's this little mnemonic that I use, and it is DC Comics is worse than Marvel Comics. Okay? If you differentiate cos, you end up with a minus sign. Now, because we started with sine and we went to cos, it's going to be a positive here. Okay? Now, if you integrate sine, then you end up with a minus cosine. Okay, but if you're not up to the integration step yet, don't worry about that. We'll get to it eventually. So, now let's figure out what is the other one, that v dash. We started off with cos 5x. So we swap it. So instead of being a cos, it's now a sine. And it's a 5x. That 5 goes here. And because we differentiate cos, DC is worse than Marvel Comics, we get a minus sign. And now, the step that we need to do quite a lot of, and that is to just substitute our values into the quotient rule. So if you make it a table, life will be a lot easier. So I'm going to write it out as a table and substitute everything in so life is easy. Otherwise, if you don't set it up like this, you're prone to make mistakes. And we really don't want to do that. X, so I'm just writing them all out. Five x, and u dash here will be our 4 cos 4x. Okay, a little bit messy. Bear with me. Now let's just substitute it in. So we've got our equation here, which says it is u v minus u v all divided by v squared. That's on your formula sheet. let's go ahead and substitute everything in. So u dash, that's this one, that goes there. So that just becomes, always put a bracket around it, otherwise you're going to make mistakes. So just 4 cos 4x. All right. The next one is just regular plain old boring v. Okay, so that will be cos 5x. Okay, and then we go minus by, now because I'm going to run out of space, I'm going to do this in a little bit of a tricky way. I'm going to write the bottom bit squared. Okay, and then I'm just going to say minus by the same thing here. Okay, so that's just like saying if I have 1 plus 2 all divided by 2, that would be 1/2 plus 1/2. Okay, so that's all I'm doing here. The next bit is we've got our regular u. So in green here, our regular u, let's put it in. So it becomes sine 4x, and then we multiply it by, right? We multiply it by, let's use a different color, say this one, that value of v there. So the minus, the brackets here become very important to not make mistakes. Now, most of the time, you should just be able to finish up here, okay? But I'm going to go a step further and simplify the expression for us, okay? So now we say that our dy and dx, that is equal to, and we can, I guess, just multiply out the 4 at the front. Now, cos 4x and cos 5x can't mingle. It's sort of like saying x squared plus x to the 3, right? Like they can't, you can't just say that's equal to like 2x to the 2 or something. It doesn't work that way. So we've got to leave it as is. We can't simplify that. So then we go 4 cos 4x cos 5x. All right. Now in this case, we've got a minus 5 and a minus sign, so it becomes plus 5. And again, the same thing. We can't mix the sine and sine 4x and the sine 5x, so it becomes sine 4x and sine dot 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 dot. I run out of space, and then all divided by cos, and we can just put the squared here to make life a bit easier. 5x. That's our final answer. Now, there are plenty of other exam questions like this on my website. There's heaps of them there. If you want to do questions that are likely to appear in your exam and not just do the routine questions that appear in your textbook, go ahead, click the link in the description below. And if you still need help, we offer tutoring services online, in person, or group, so reach out. We'd be more than happy to help.